Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hear Me Out. Today we have a special episode with our great special guests. Can we give them a shout out? Woo! Yay. I don't know the track for that, so we're not going to use it. So today we have Miss Lovely Michelle Gurrola and Miss Anna Ramirez, or Annalexus Ramirez.
Annalexus, get it right.
Annalexus Ramirez. And we have a really fun topic to talk about.
Yes, today we want to sort of, have a chill day and talk. And we're still with the theme of love and romance because it's still February. So we're going to talk about Hollywood love versus real love. Now, I know I speak for myself. I don't have a lot of reference. I don't have a lot of experience. But we've all had a crush at some point maybe. Or we've all, rather, because it's Hollywood love, we've all watched something that is like, that could be nice. Or, we've all developed an expectation about who we would like to marry or who we would like to date, because it could be different, who knows, So today we'll delve into that.
Perfect. Right. So we are going to be doing some questions so we can figure out a little bit more of our unrealistic expectations that we got from Hollywood love. So first and foremost, do you have a favorite romantic comedy or chick flick? How did I say Chick-fil-A?
You did.
Chick flick.
Chick flick.
Let's start with you, Lula. Do you have a favorite romantic comedy?
I also have a favorite Chick-fil-A item.
Chick-fil-A.
The number two?
Number two, yeah, deluxe, the chicken deluxe.
Yes.
Spicy chicken deluxe. Anyway, yes, my favorite would be I'm divided. I'm between She's All That or what's this other one? It's with Sandra Bullock and
The Proposals.
The Proposal. There you go. Yes, The Proposal. Those two. I think I'm gonna say The Proposal because it's just funny.
Yeah.
She's very tough, but at the same time, you start realizing that she's cute. She's okay. She's good, and he's funny. He's just funny, and I love
kind of mean, but you like it.
Yes, I like it. I think I enjoy the fact that he's treating her in a way she deserves.
Right.
But he still manages to be kind at times. He's still he's not outright, to hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I just wish it had a better ending. I wanted to see their future.
Oh,
you're one of those.
I like that. I totally agree.
Totally agree. Cut to the credits, and I wanted to see more.
Yeah. What about you?
I think I've categorized it between comfort rom-coms and sentimental rom-coms.
Oh, okay.
So comfort rom-com, definitely My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I think that movie is hilarious, and I also think that it's relatable in some sense because I come from a big family, so it's just interesting to see that dynamic, and I think it's so funny. Hold my neck. You and I would always quote that one. Like a piece of toast.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Love
that one. And then my more sentimental favorite movie is definitely The Best of Me. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a Nicholas Spark. Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
It's so good. It's based in the South, and it's a high school romance. They reconnect later. Good stuff. I love that movie.
Wait, isn't that yours too?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but it is Nicholas Spark.
Okay, yes.
Oh, okay.
I know which one, but
yeah,
you share.
The Longest Ride.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen The Longest Ride.
It's also Southern, right? It's also Southern.
Yeah, it's like country.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know.
Okay, I didn't know you were into that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm surprised.
Oh, I didn't know.
What did you think she was into? Action?
Well, when it comes to romantic comedies, I've never known that about Anna. I don't think I've ever seen a rom-com with you.
Yeah, no.
So it's hard for me to imagine what she'd be into.
Yeah,
but definitely Southern was not in that. It was just not at all,
Wow. Is it just is it the horses?
Yeah. No, actually, yes. I love the country, vibe.
Scenery.
Yes. And they have...
Okay, but imagine riding a horse.
In the field.
That would turn into an embarrassing story.
Oh, for sure. Very quick.
Yeah. Very quick.
Yeah.
But I love that, yeah.
The Longest Ride.
I gotta watch it.
You do.
The longest ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is The Longest Ride about horses?
No.
But wait,
Well, they have horses.
It's like a competition?
rom-com,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is-
Yes.
Like, I don't think it's that, like, very funny, is it?
No, it's not funny.
Right, yeah.
Anything Nicholas Sparks is not going
It's-
to be that funny.
mhm.
Yeah. It's more like cutthroat.
Cutthroat.
What about a funny one? Do you have one?
Right now, no.
Oh, so it's just The Longest Ride.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
You know what's the one we talked about the other day? The Other Woman. That one's really funny with
Other Woman.
Cameron
Leslie-
Diaz?
Yeah, and Leslie
Yeah.
Mann.
I love that film. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or he's just not into you. I like that one too.
No,
Oh
maybe I should
yeah,
watch
that's
that
the one with
Yeah.
no, we've seen it with Matthew McConaughey and
Matthew McConaughey.
he's not
No, no,
he's
no,
just
no,
not that into
no.
you?
No, you were talking
Oh,
about
no. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's
Wait,
right.
I actually think you're right. No, it's not Matthew McConaughey. It's the other
No, in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is Matthew
Matthew
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
Yes, you're right.
And
But he's just not that into you? I don't think so.
no, I've never seen that one.
Oh, you've
No.
never seen that one?
I've never seen
Have
that
you
one.
seen that one?
I think I have,
Right. It's
but I
like
don't
it's like
remember.
it's like multiple stories going on at one time.
Oh, then I have it.
Okay, it's funny.
And I'm guessing he's not that into her.
We gotta watch it. I don't want to spoil the film.
All right.
Okay.
All
Anyway.
right. Well, yeah, that's another one to watch because I haven't watched The Longest Ride,
I haven't watched it either.
but I want to watch it. So
Yeah.
Then now he's not that into. Isn't that on Netflix though? Right now?
I
think I've
actually I think
seen
it might be actually it might be.
I think I've seen it. He's not.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
I have a list on my phone of like my favorite rom-coms. Too many movies.
Too many movies.
Too
I need
many.
to watch movies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Since we've all established that we've watched too many movies, do you have a particular scenario or a fantasy that you've created in your head of like, oh my God, that would be nice?
Of like a specific moment.
Yeah.
Or of like life in general.
Out of a movie, like for example,
Okay.
can you share with us your one and only one?
Okay, so it's a very specific scenario that comes out in a lot of movies, but the ones that I want to put in your brain are like, for example, Enchanted, right now Cinderella Story, and
Titanic.
even a little bit of She's All That. It's the synchronized dancing that I really find like it's that fantasy that to this day I'm like, it's probably never gonna happen, but I want that. And specifically in Enchanted, where she comes from the top of the stairs and she's gorgeous in this gorgeous dress. He gives her that look that I don't know if you've ever seen that meme. Like, I just want that look once.
Yeah.
And she comes down and then they just dance. And it's just perfect and very Disney princessy. But that for me is a fantasy that I've gotten from a movie that is very unrealistic.
With the whole stairs situation?
More
or-
with the stairs. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about the stairs. I never think about falling. I just think grace and poise
You'll
and
gracefully come
Yeah.
down. He'll look at you the whole time.
the whole time. And then you know what's funny? It's not just him. It's like my dress is so great that everyone's like, look at her dress. Like literally look at her dress.
You're it.
Yeah, I'm it. So that's the fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
What about you guys? Do you guys have a fantasy or it's just like, oh, that's so unrealistic. I wish it would happen in real life.
I don't think that mine is that unrealistic. It's so, I feel like I told you guys, I think it's so silly, but to me, it's always been like, oh, I wish that would happen one day. It's, no, I mean, like, obviously, you know, it's from the movie The Best of Me, and I don't want to spoil it, but basically what happens is, like, it's just the whole scenario of, like, them driving, and, like, he's dropping her off at home, and then he turns on the radio, and it goes to that specific song, and they're like,
Oh,
will you
okay.
dance with me in the headlights? And just that scenario.
Oh, in the headlights.
Yeah, like, in front of the car. Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
turns on
Okay.
the radio,
Okay.
and then we go to the front of the car, and with, like, the headlights. And I feel like it needs to be in summer, though.
Well, yeah, like right now. I can't really do this.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing, I don't really care where it is. Like, it's just as long as it happens. You know?
Okay,
Like, it could
okay.
be in Target.
Future husband for
I
sure.
don't really mind as long as it happens. And
McDonald's.
but I feel like you can agree.
Ross.
Chuck E. Cheese. No, but I feel like you can agree. I feel like, I don't know, or so they say, when you're like with that person, everything else kind of like
Oh yeah,
tunes away,
for
right?
sure. Like I know that fantasy is never going to happen. But I definitely try to have it happen when we went to Europe, and recording all of those little clips of us doing circles and stuff. Yeah. That was my way of like, this can happen if I try to make it happen, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that's more realistic if you communicate it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I want it to happen like naturally,
True.
You don't want to tell him that you want that to happen, but you have to
know. I was like, Anna, can you please tell me? I want this to happen.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh,
Do you have a fantasy?
I don't have a particular scene. I just want to be saved. Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
You know what? I get that too.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many scenes where girls get saved, I think, but to me, it's just anything.
Give me a spectrum, because there's a spectrum. There's you're about to be kidnapped, and then there's like, oh my God, you almost like tripped and fell, and then they caught you.
I guess
that's realistic.
That one, yeah. I mean, that's very realistic for me. I think for me, it's something where it still gives us time to be like, to feel the butterflies. If I'm getting kidnapped, I'm probably not gonna think about him saving me, But yeah, but if it's something like where I'm falling and he catches me, or even even like, for example, very small things like he puts you on the inner side of the street and he's on the other end,
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason it feels unrealistic now, but at some point men would do that. Men would. That was it was very minimum. It was very, because chivalry. But I feel like chivalry is dying lately, and I feel like now it's sort of like, that's my fantasy, for him to put me on the on the other side of the street.
But is it physical saving, or like you're getting yelled at, or someone said something mean to you and they defended you, kind of saving you? Because that's also attractive, where someone comes in and saves you.
I think that one too. I think that one, like, especially if I don't deserve it. And he's like, I'm really upset that someone's yelling at you when we all know that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And he comes through and defends me. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, that would be very touching. Let's get married tomorrow. I think I would feel more touched by that than by me falling and him rescuing me for a worse fall. I want to be saved. I think that's one. And the other one would be and I think I've shared it with you guys, with you girls, to have sort of like a dinner on the back of a truck, where and watch the sunset. And watch the sunset. And I don't think I've seen that in a movie. I got that idea from one time I went to eat to the beach with my sister, and there was a couple of in that, and I'm like, oh, that is so cute. And I was like, oh, that would be nice.
Yeah,
it would be really nice.
I feel like something, though, that has definitely shaped my perspective, though, on, like, certain scenarios, more so when I was, like, a teenager, is fan fictions. And I feel
my gosh.
That's, like, another rabbit hole. And I feel like you can agree with me in that, like, where, like, the One Direction fan fictions and, like, stuff like that. I don't know. But that has definitely...
You know why, I think? Because they get more personal.
Oh, yeah.
They get...
and you feel like you're there.
Yes, yes. And a movie is like, oh, I wish that could have gone this way or whatever. But fan fiction is written by fans.
Yes.
So they pretty much know the hearts of other fans.
They manipulate how they want it to
and
end.
then you get to insert your name.
or they get to write it in like, you me.
Yeah, and then they give you like the playlist so you can imagine.
Oh my gosh, how many times the playlist when you're like dreaming about something? Yeah. Oh my gosh, what about you? Do you have a fantasy?
I do. Mine is like going off of Lula's, just like him just being there. Even going back to
chivalry.
Yeah, like it's dead. It's not. Yeah.
There's a few out there.
There is, but right now it's like dead. Like, anyways, yeah. But just like having the guy like naturally too. You can't just like force it in there. But
you can just go. I want you to do this.
Open the door.
I want you to save me.
Like, not going crazy, like being kidnapped, but like some action, like from movies, just like
Right.
I would say that.
Okay. Well, didn't you share with us that driving?
Oh yeah,
right.
Well,
going on a drive
too. Like for me, long drives, just like
That's realistic. That can happen.
Yeah, that can totally happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Don't worry.
No.
Just kidding. I'm just
I'll let
kidding.
him know.
You saw it here first, guys.
Ask her in 3 years.
In 3 years. Who was she talking about? So as far as like these fantasies, is it something that if you communicated it, it loses its
Magic?
spark? Or is it something like, no, even if I communicate it and it happens, I'm okay with that?
I think the second. I think even if I was just to be like, oh, you should really watch this movie. That's your way of communicating.
You're like, that scene.
Yeah, there's something about it.
But you know what? Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if unless he's that type of man that they're really not there, like they're really like they love you and everything,
Right.
but they're just not that type of guy.
Right,
You know?
Right.
Then I can see why that might not work.
Right.
But I feel like most men, when they're trying to woo you, when they're trying to when they like you as
Right.
well, they'll pick up on little things.
Yeah.
Like they'll pick up on like,
I'm
oh my
sure.
God, that scene that really touched me.
I love
that.
I loved it.
I loved it.
What about you for you, Anna?
Sorry, what was the question?
Would communicating it make it lose its magic, or would you still take it like, okay, this is nice, even if you don't communicate it like full on, but like that is nice.
I think I don't think I would want to say it. Like, it would just he would need to just do it.
Right.
Like you like something on Instagram. She liked that post.
Yeah.
Like long rides.
She's just liking posts.
Horses all over the place.
My
Sunsets.
No, I asked that question because I feel like, obviously prior to getting married, that was my mindset. My mindset was very much like, if I communicated it, it's going to lose its touch. And so the first year, or I wouldn't even say the first year, the first couple months, for sure the first 3 was a lot of that. But like even in the little things of just like, if he wanted to do it, he'd do it, and if he doesn't do it, then he doesn't want to do it, and he doesn't love me the way that I think he does. And then the more that I guess transitioned in my mindset of like, okay, I'm going to communicate it, because there was a lot of times where it's just like, okay, I'm mad, and he's like, I don't know what I did, like what's going on, and I'm like, well, it's because I had this expectation in my mind. Right. And so when I started communicating things, obviously I'm speaking with a certain type of man, not every man is like that, and he started to do things. To me, it was like the fact that he does it after I asked means that he loves me, because he could have disregarded it. He could have been like, well, I mean, this isn't a fairy tale, babe, right. But instead it was more of like, I'm willing to change this for you because I know that it's important to you, and so I think that I'm going to pray that you ladies have that kind of guy, because they're out there. They're for sure out there. There are some very sensitive and emotional guys out there. But I have a different kind of guy. But communication still works, and it's still great, Right. So did you guys ever have an expectation built up, perhaps in a crush or a boyfriend or someone that, it didn't happen the way you wanted it to, and you found that the root was coming from maybe a film or a meme or a story that you're like, it didn't work out for me?
Good question. I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah.
I feel like I did. I always do. Jesus. I feel like not so much that, but I think when it comes from the wrong person.
Ooh.
I think like it's happened to me where someone was interested, and that person did something really nice for me, but it was just not the right person, and I wasn't the right person for that person
right.
either. But it was like, I think I can share it. We were walking, and a bunch of people were coming out, and he put himself in front of the people and me to sort of like protect me from all that crowd coming out of, I don't know, a restaurant or whatever. And while it felt kind of like, oh, that was nice, it was still from you know, from the from
the person you
the
wanted.
person I would want.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, that still felt that scene was something that because in a way it was sort of like that fantasy of being saved.
Right.
So he saved me, or he was chivalrous. But it was still not from the person I wanted.
Right.
So yeah, and also, you know, you think about the other person, like, oh, I did that, you know, this might be it. Like I was showing her that I want to protect her,
Right.
and it was still not it. So you know,
Yeah,
it was
just
also
'cause
like
it wasn't reciprocated.
Yeah.
So it's like weird.
It's not it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's happened to me, but I don't know if I don't think I've experienced enough where something happened. I'm like, oh, you know.
Or you made up something in your mind that it was going to go a certain way. Like for me growing up, there was a lot of we were making a lot of eye contact, and I know that it meant for him what it meant to me. Like I know he was looking my way,
Right.
and every time I looked, three times he was looking. So I think that was more of like something that I went through growing up, and then it didn't help that sometimes my mom was like very encouraging for a lot of things. No, si te gustan. Or más bien, tú le gustas. Sí le gustas a él. And I would just be like, yeah, right, Mom? Yeah. I see it too, you know? And I mean, as you can see from this channel, there's a lot of instances where that just was not the case. So I think that was an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
That because in movies and in shows, you always see the crush and what he's doing to the main character and like his pursuit. And we think that in our lives is a movie. So we're like, oh, if they looked at me, then that must mean something, you know? So, and it has happened, obviously. But for me, it was like every encounter meant something. Yeah.
No. I think that's what it was for me too. Especially when I was in high school, I just thought that they were just gonna know, and that one day he's gonna like be like, I like you too, and that never happened. Obviously.
Yeah.
So I think it was for me a lot of that, and then the fan fictions too. They did not help. They make you think that, you know, he's gonna know, or he thinks the same thing, and like a lot of the time he's probably looking at me, I'm looking at him, and he's like, oh,
weird.
Like, who are you looking at? So yeah, definitely a lot of that. Like one day he's just gonna know, but I mean,
he's gonna wake up one day.
Yeah, and he's gonna be like, I think she likes me.
Seriously.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Hey, there are some people that have had a really good head on their shoulders. Not that we didn't, but in the sense that you've been very realistic from the very beginning, and that's a good thing. So in a sense, you've never really had like fantasies in real life. Like you're overthinking something. Like, oh, it's probably this.
I mean, yeah, I overthink for myself. I overthink every situation. But at the same time, I stop myself. I'm like, Anna, it's just you. So I don't really go more into the fantasy.
That's probably the best thing to like protect yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then if you're like kind of up in the clouds and then like you find out like, oh, they actually like someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you're like,
and that's
They didn't know. He wasn't looking at me.
He was looking behind me.
Seriously. He was looking at the girl next to me.
I think I told Lula one time, you could be like, God told me to tell you, to tell your friend. God told me.
Oh, man. Oh, don't even get us started on God told me. Oh, that's another episode, guys.
That was just because God told me.
No. It gets bad with that when
those three sentences that's when you open a sentence with God told me, it never ends well.
It never ends well.
God told me to.
God revealed to me.
God told me to tell you.
God gave me a word.
You're gonna be
for
mine.
us.
Oh, God. For your friend. That he's gonna bless you.
And
I.
No.
Definitely those don't end well.
Oh, no.
What can you do? You know, when they come at you with God, and you're like, oh.
Wait, you didn't tell me?
Well, my God.
I don't know. I didn't get the message. Yeah.
Maybe the best thing to do is like, well, let's wait until he tells me.
Right.
You never told me.
For sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's never happened to me, or so I've been told. So, I don't know.
I've never had someone say that to me, but I used the line on someone.
Oh,
Yeah. That's why.
Wait. To end it or
to end it. Yeah, to end something. Yeah, that's why when I've heard that line in first and foremost, if it's ever to encourage someone to try to get with you, already mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also if you're ever using it to get out of something,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to face the facts that, hey, this isn't working out.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got twice. I did it once after a youth camp because I know I lied to myself. I lied to myself, telling myself like, this person's an idol. This person's just taking too much of my time, and I need to let them go, and I need to focus more on God. But deep down, like I just stopped feeling the way that I felt towards that person, and I was trying to find some kind of way to get out of it.
Right.
And then the second time, which I know is going to make me sound bad, I liked someone else.
Oh.
And so I was like, I don't know how to get out of this without hurting the person's feelings.
Right.
So I'd rather put it on God and say, God told me. And that way he takes all the,
Maybe he really
guilt.
did tell you.
And it's sad because the person's like, God didn't reveal that to me, and you're just like, I don't know, I'm sorry, that's what God showed me in a prayer. So yeah, the God told me line.
I feel like clearly God did tell you because you married someone else.
True.
Like, there was some level of like God did tell you.
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
I guess.
But I don't know.
I think when it comes to breaking up with someone, because I do believe that there are instances where God can give you some kind of guidance to say, okay, this is not a person for you.
Right.
But I don't think that having to say that is necessary.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to tell the person, well, God showed me that you're not good for me.
Right.
Might as well just be like, you know what, this isn't working out. And
Just honestly.
we're two different people.
Yeah. Growing up, my aunt always told me, if a guy ever tells you that they just need to get close to God right now, he doesn't really like you. I was like, okay.
Seriously.
So that's never happened, but just so you know,
that's a free one.
he's just not that into you.
He's just not, And I think also because if you grow up in church, it's like, it's hard, but you feel like you have to end up with the person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it hard to get out of it on your own because you feel like, no, I was supposed to end up with this person. And then you say, well, God told me, but it's like.
Imagine you were so, because I feel like that could have happened to me, or back then if I still had that innocent mentality.
Okay.
I feel like I'd be like, oh my God, yes, I totally agree with you. Let's get closer to God. Like I wouldn't read.
You and me.
Do a devotional.
I'll pray for you. You pray for me.
Yes, I don't think I would read.
He's like,
you wouldn't read the room.
No, I wouldn't read the room. I'd be like, you're absolutely right. Yes, I'll be praying for
God,
you.
he's been telling me the same thing about myself.
We'll be praying for you.
You're like that guy on, I think it's on TikTok, where he's reading text messages where she's saying something like, we need to end this. And he's like, I know what you meant. We need to end this current state of our relationship to be something more. And like everything that she tells him, he's just kind of like, and this is what it means, and like you're asking for a marriage at this point, it's like, yeah.
That would be me back then.
Yeah.
Right now I feel more like Anna. I feel like I try to be more like, no, I'm making up a novella in my head. Let's stop it right now. Scenario. This is all the fanfic, and no. Let's move on. And I feel like, it hurts sometimes. I think it does a good thing of like, at least I'm out of it. I'm not overthinking it. I'm not dreaming of something that might never happen.
That's true.
What is the most dramatic thing that you've ever done that is very main character behavior? For example, for me, it was always putting my earphones on, looking out into the window, listening to a specific song, and being dramatic about my pain and my heartbreak, and just feeling all of the emotions of that. That was, I feel, the most, among a lot of things that I did growing up, dramatic. Did you guys ever do something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You go first.
I have. Well, like one that came to mind was like putting on a song. Especially like now, like just driving and putting on a song and just like singing like your heart out to it.
Yeah, okay. Like all excited and like it's gonna be a good day.
I'm not hurt anymore.
You can't break me.
See the world.
For me, I think it was when I was probably like 15. No. 15, 16. 15, 16. Forever 15. No.
We're going to make a t-shirt out of that, guys.
Yeah. No, I think I was like a little bit older actually. And I was in high school though. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to get over a crush that I had. And so I don't know where I got this idea, but I decided to write him a letter and then go to the beach and throw it in the ocean. Oh. I don't know where I got. You know what? I shouldn't be laughing because no.
Wait, what? I'm not laughing at you. You're telling me my life.
No, it didn't. It was turning into an embarrassing story because I remember we went to the beach and my parents and like I don't know, like they're like over there. And so then there's like, if you've ever been to Ventura Beach, there's like these rocks that you go on, and I was like, I'm just gonna go on the rocks.
Oh, you did it, like you went and walked away. You had to
This wasn't a family thing.
So I remember I'm like getting on the rocks and I'm reading the letter and I'm like, this is like, you know, I start crumpling it. I'm just like,
oh my gosh.
It didn't work. It didn't work. No, honestly, I really do think I was like 16 or 17. So, yeah.
I burned a letter.
Oh, wow.
You wrote a letter and burned it?
I burned a letter so I could burn away all of my emotions.
Can you imagine like the fire alarm?
No, like I just like, and then see, to me, that's why I was like, was it a family thing? Because it was a family thing for me.
Oh.
And so like for me, it was like, you know, Mom, I need to get rid of this.
Was it like
you
a
know,
crush?
this letter? It was a crush, and it was a very like, why did I like this person, you know, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And so I wrote a letter to like get it all out of my system and stuff. And my mom, her encouragement was like, just write it out. Just write it out. Mm-hmm. And I was the one that was like, that's not enough. Like, I need to burn it. Like, I need to like, along with my feelings and all of my expectations. And I feel like I actually felt good because it was like a rage. Yeah. It was more of like, like just letting it go. So I burned it.
Oh my God. Ooh. I've written letters, but I rip them.
Oh, you ripped them.
I ripped them. Yeah.
You're gonna be like, I flushed them down the toilet.
No. You want to be a main character? You go to the ocean and burn it.
But you know what? Like what I've done is I've done capsules.
Oh.
Like I like, for example, I'll write something and then for when you're healed, open it.
Okay, that's dramatic.
Okay.
You know, like I've done where I write a letter where exactly that. Yeah. I write everything. Right. How angry I am, how upset I am, how like, and I don't care that you didn't love me anymore. You go, you know, whatever. And then I'll close it up in an envelope and I'll put at the end, to Lula. For when you're ready.
Yes.
Wow. That is the main character.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, you know, some of them I've forgotten. Some of them they're probably still in my room.
Yeah.
And I probably need to go, you know, over some stuff. But
it still remains open.
Yeah, but some of them did help though. Like as soon as I wrote, it's like, okay, I felt better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but that was, I think that's the most I've done.
No, and I feel like doing that though, writing the letters and then reading them back to yourself. Sometimes you're like,
what was I thinking?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
So, but you know what I think when I read them back? Oh my God, I hate my grammar. Like, that's the first thing I think. I'm like, spelling check.
No, for me it's cringe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cringy.
I wrote 2 Dear Future Husband journals. I started when I was 18. And I gave them to Joel when I got married. And I'm thankful this guy only read like a few chapters because I started rereading them and I was like, why did I just some of the things that I would write was so corny. Yeah. Like it wasn't even like a cute corny. It was like,
I was expecting you before.
No, like I would write things like at Channel Islands. I was like, I am under a tree right now. It's spring and you know the flowers are blossoming and they're falling and I know right now in this moment you're thinking of me as I'm thinking of you, you know, and I would like I was so like, I was really trying to be romantic. Right. But when you're out of that, I guess, not that you're no longer romantic, but you're in a different phase and you read that, you're like, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, like 2 a.m. memories.
No, and then I would put photos. So I put photos in my Dear Future Husband journal, like this is me unfiltered, me with like my braces or something, and I thought I looked all cute, and so sometimes journaling is not always a fun experience.
It's interesting.
What about you, Anna?
Well, I do write stuff down, but not
Burn them?
I didn't burn them or throw them in the ocean.
Her main characters.
Seriously.
Like I was saying, for me, it's just in the drive, with my radio.
You throw them out the window?
No, I don't do that.
You don't dispose of them.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. No.
So
I'm normal.
You're like thinking on the
I
You're
think
thinking.
of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Or you talk to them?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. I've never talked to them, by the way.
No.
Okay.
Talk to who?
No, because I was...
Talk to the crush?
Yeah, I was
okay.
like, do you drive and like start talking to them? Is that what it is? Because we were writing letters.
Oh,
as if they were there.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Wait, what? You've done that? Oh!
okay. Look, I can't help you.
no. I've driven and I'll be imagining. What would I say?
Oh.
What would I
I've done
say?
that.
And then I'll start saying it like this is my argument,
Oh.
And, yeah, I'll start saying like, would I confess or what if
okay.
how would I confess?
Okay,
Scenario.
that I can understand.
Yeah.
But for me, it was in the shower. Confessing scenarios or like even arguments, it was always for me in the shower. Like, I can't believe you did this to me while I'm washing my hair.
I do that a lot when I'm driving. Right? Or I use like, how would I?
But you
articulate-
lo dices.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does
Just
that make you feel better?
I feel like it makes me make sense of the situation.
Oh,
It makes me kind of like,
That
okay.
is true. 'Cause
it-
it brings you down.
Yeah.
Do you fill in what he says or she says?
Yeah.
Because I've done that. I've done that.
Yeah.
When
I'm
you
like,
retaliate.
no.
Like, because you have to keep an argument.
Right.
You have to
You
say something.
You know every angle.
How are you gonna fight it unless you know what they say, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you need to sort of imagine what would he reply or what
Yeah.
and what would I reply to?
Right. For
Okay.
sure.
You go both ways.
Yeah, people. My arguments don't go past 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm not that like out
She's
there.
there in the
Like,
mirror.
At least people can think you're on the phone.
Seriously, yeah.
That's funny.
So basically, from what I'm getting at, you haven't had a lot of like dramatic experiences like that.
No, I haven't.
That's good.
Oh, that is good.
Yes. Yes. I'm
It
telling
saves you a lot of like time, like dealing with the consequences of that.
Or it just spares you the embarrassing.
Right. For sure.
Oh.
But do you think that still, like, even though you're trying to be realistic, and this goes for everybody, like now that you're married too, because do you still think that you still have somewhat like unrealistic expectations of your husband, of now your husband, your future husband, boyfriend, and let's not say things that are very common sense, like chivalry. Because I feel like, yes, it's dying, but it's still common sense. I feel like it's not unrealistic. But what about like a specific scenario that you're like, yeah, I know that's unrealistic, but I would still like it to happen. Like for me I think it's very unrealistic, but I would like it to happen if, like, without me telling him, I find flowers in the home.
Oh, okay.
No, it doesn't have to be every day, but it could be potentially once a week. And it's just my favorite flowers. My favorite flowers, and he knows what my favorite flowers are, and my favorite color, and so all of that. I feel like I think I still have that expectation, even though it's unrealistic. But I would like it to be like that.
I don't feel like that's unrealistic, though. Well, I mean, unrealistic because you want him to do it by himself. Is that what you think?
Yes, I think unrealistic because it'd be one of those things where he just wakes up one day and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go for flowers.
I think that's more actually realistic than the every week.
Yeah.
That's what I would think is more unrealistic. The every week flowers than marrying someone who is detallista, and that could be like, no, I picked these flowers because I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I have unrealistic expectations in as like a dramatic sense of it. But I guess another scenario that I've always imagined, if you've ever seen the Justin Bieber Mistletoe music video. Oddly specific. But like they're walking together and like she sees a dress in the mannequin and she's like, oh, that's a really pretty dress. And then like later on she finds the dress like in her room in a box and it's just a note that's like, meet me at whatever. That kind of scenario. And then like you meet them there. But I don't think that that's unrealistic if I were to show them the music video just over and over.
Just pay attention to this time.
Just watch.
This timestamp from this timestamp.
One thing you made me think of is like, I don't know, like just a day where he like plans, but you find like a scavenger hunt. Like just I guess like a scavenger hunt, and then one that you were mentioning, Lula, just like notes, like random notes that you find. Like they can be funny jokes or just like anything.
The little thought.
Or like a post-it and it's like on your mirror. And
have a great day.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that is cute. That's not unreal. I don't
That's
think
not
these
unrealistic.
are unrealistic.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think these are unrealistic. I mean, unless you're thinking like Gossip Girl buying a hotel, like that.
Right.
That kind of unrealistic. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're unrealistic.
I don't think so.
Our male viewers are like.
They're probably
if he's rich, then maybe. I don't know.
They are.
I feel like my expectations have shifted. You know, I think for me now, some of the expectations I have is like, okay, we're in a situation where someone is being disrespectful for me, or to me, sorry. And Joel defends me and stands up for me, and I don't have to say anything. And he's just like, you're not going to talk to my wife that way. And I don't know why I want it to happen, you know, but like I want, because Joel is very aloof for a lot of things. He's not a very jealous person.
Right.
He's not the kind of person that's going to react. And it's not like I have a lot of attention either that would require for him to be that. But I'm just like, man, it would be awesome to see just one time some waiter said something and to see him react of like, hey, like I'm her husband, you know, kind of to claim his territory. That's an expectation that I think I have, even though I'm already married. But most of the little things are dying. I don't want to say that like marriage makes you not dream or anything. I just think because of where I'm at now, if I want something, I'll communicate it.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And that's what it is.
It makes you mature. It makes you understand, hey, like this, like men sometimes don't think the way we think.
Yeah.
You know, even as girlfriends, you can probably pick up on stuff. Oh, I remember she mentioned she liked this. Let me get it for her. You know, men aren't like that. You know, for the most part, they're not thinking that far out.
Right.
And so, yes, sometimes you need to be specific with them. And I think that's where we don't understand. It's kind of like, no, I've been mentioning this for
I've been showing you the music video.
Exactly. Like,
why don't you get it?
Why don't you get it? You know, my friend hinted at that
Right.
last week, you know?
Right.
But I think, like you said, I feel like if we have a very, like, maybe if you know that that's your partner, you know, have that friend that can be like, hey, you know, what are you doing for her birthday?
Right,
you know?
right.
I remember she mentioned this, you know.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll let him know.
I'll let him know too. All right, perfect.
What is something realistic that you are looking forward to? That I know this is going to happen in a future relationship that I'm really excited for. Something basic. Like, for example, for me, I really looked forward to cleaning with my husband. It's weird, but like doing laundry and getting stuff around the house done, that was something that I'm like, I've never done that with especially with a guy, or let alone a friend. You know, we're going to clean together. So it was always something I'm like, I wonder what that's going to look like. What's a realistic thing that you're like, I know we're going to have to do this, that you look forward to?
For me, just like a random day, you just wake up and you just go somewhere, like adventurous day.
Yeah, that's very realistic. Yeah.
I don't know.
Top cookings, outings, cleanings, spending time with family. You know,
I think
what are some of the things?
It's like getting to introduce them to my family, or like getting to introduce them to like my friends and being so like proud of them. Like, this is my boyfriend. Like, I'm excited for that. And
the Instagram post.
Yeah, maybe I don't know, Instagram post. That's another soft launch, hard launch. That's another topic. But I'm so excited.
Black and white.
Yeah, the hand. I'm so excited to like show them off and be like, "This is my boyfriend. He's so cute." Like that kind of a moment, and I know that that's gonna happen. You know, like getting to introduce them, and like I don't know, like I've always thought of like holiday parties at work and being like, "This is my husband."
Oh,
nice. Like being so proud that like this is my husband. So, yeah.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
I think for me, trips.
Trips.
I think I would like to travel with my husband and just maybe this is another unrealistic expectation, but I would really enjoy for him to take care of me during the whole trip. Like, because for example, whenever we go to Mexico, I'm like a kid, and so my mom and my sisters, I'm the one they take care of. They're like, oh, you need your ID. Oh, you need this. And, okay, you know.
Yeah.
And we're arriving, Lula. Get ready for that. Like, okay, yeah. You know, we're gonna get off. Get ready for that. Yeah. Oh, yes. You know, the exits are here. You know. So I feel because I like that pampering, and then even when we're in Mexico, my sisters are very like, look where you're going. Just don't. Don't.
Is it like being babied almost?
Yeah.
Okay.
And recently I saw a post of this woman that says it was her first time traveling with her husband. She's like, I had to read signs. I had to, I had to be on alert the whole time. I couldn't watch three TikToks or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would like that. I would like for someone to be like, okay, let's go. And carrying my stuff and I don't know, being taken care of.
Yeah. No, that's not unrealistic. I don't.
So I think I would like that. I'm looking forward to that.
That's sweet.
That's exciting. So, as we're getting ready to close, what is something that despite of, Hollywood movies and chick flicks, and all of its unrealistic expectations, what have you learned from real life and real love around you in our friendships and our parents? What have you learned that you're like, this is something that I want to apply because it's real. It's an actual thing that I see that has worked. Yeah. It's not an expectation. It's real, that I want to apply to my future.
Good question.
I think for me, again, I think it's fairly
simple,
but I don't think if it's very common sense to a lot of people. But I think knowing to not put each other on blast in front of other people.
Yes, that's so good.
I really appreciate when you can tell sometimes when couples are having a hard time, but they don't show it or they don't make a scene right there. They're like,
right.
And I think I respect that. I would like to incorporate that in my marriage of like, okay, I'm upset, and I'm sorry if maybe for like 5 seconds I didn't hide it, but we're not. This is in the place,
right?
And we're going
in public.
Or just to keep things private. To be wise enough to be like, okay, this is something that we do at home,
right?
And or maybe that same day in that same moment, but not here.
Right.
Let's just wait, and or text or something.
No.
Yeah.
No, I agree, and I'm in the same vein of like, I think what I have seen has worked, or what I've been told has worked, is you never want to like put down your partner to your friends or to like your family, because they're never going to forget that image that you put of them. And they could just be having a bad moment when they were kind of rude to you, and then I go and tell Anna, he was so rude to me today. She's going to remember that because she's my friend.
And they might throw it in your face.
Exactly.
Like, oh.
And so then, I mean, we could get over it. It could just be that, I don't know, he was tired or something. And then now that they have that image of like, he's rude and he doesn't love her and she should leave him. And so I think just being mindful of like my tongue and learning how to control my tongue, I think that would be instrumental to having a successful relationship.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yes. I don't know. You're
definitely.
You're married, so.
I think that I mean I've seen it both ways, and I think when it's the opposite in the negative, it's really hard when you're over it.
Right.
And now someone is throwing it in your face. But I thought you said they were like this.
Yeah.
Or you're the person that has heard the negative thing about the spouse or the couple, and you've said things and you're like, oh, well, I knew that about them. They were always like that. And now your friend, your sibling, whatever it is that you're interacting with, it's like, well, now I feel uncomfortable being around you because you said all of these things about my partner, about my person. And so, definitely.
It's like I feel like there's a responsibility to protect them in that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know.
Something you've seen in other couples?
I mean, first thing that came up was just like, you get in church, like the couple who just prays together, worships together, ministry together. Mm-hmm. Just in our home church, just seeing that as what I look up to.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think for me, one of the best things that I heard from one of my sisters was make sure that you make it a point to communicate with your partner every single day. And it seems like it's a very, like, obviously you're going to communicate with your partner every single day. But it was like no intentional conversations. So, my sister was like, at every single night without fail, since I've been married with, my husband, we will have a 10, 15, sometimes 20, depending however long the conversation is. And we will talk about our days. We will talk about, where we're growing, what's going on, what bothered us, the kids, whatever. And when I got married, I thought, like, obviously I'm going to talk to Joel every day. And I noticed you can actually go through a whole day and not have intentional conversation. You can be like, oh yeah, this happened in my day and blah, blah, blah. But like, you don't really share what really went in your mind, in your heart, what you're thinking. And so that has been what has really helped me, because it's in those times that I'm like, I didn't like that, or I saw this and I didn't appreciate that, or I like this about us, or I'm really thankful that you put the rods up, and things like that. And so intentional conversations was something that I think I was the most like important thing I've heard and I've actually applied. So yeah.
Good to know.
So, we're going to start closing our episode. We really encourage you guys to continue watching, because these lovely ladies are going to be here for another episode. And so we basically just want to encourage you guys, obviously, watch your chick flicks, watch your Hollywood films. They're fun. But there's a lot of value in, obviously, realistic, relationships and growing and learning. And so.
Yes. And I feel like this was supposed to be Hollywood versus real
yeah,
stuff.
I know. We kind of went into.
I think maybe we can rename it, but I think it's very important that at least I feel like it was a common theme of, that's not really unrealistic. So that speaks of like, we know what unrealistic is, and we know what realistic is, and I think that's good. I think at your age, at my age, at any age, it's very important to know, okay, if that didn't happen, was that realistic or was that unrealistic? And if it wasn't realistic, then it wasn't realistic. I'm sorry, but if it was somewhat a realistic expectation and it didn't happen, maybe it was lack of communication. And I think we can all agree, okay, I can communicate it. I can subliminally communicate it, and hope that it happens. So I think today's episode was definitely wonderful. I think we got to know each other a little bit more, and maybe creeped each other a little bit more with the whole letter situation.
Just sharing,
talking to non-existent people. But I think it was definitely a good one. So thank you, ladies, for being with us, and thank you for staying for another episode. And we'll see you, everybody, next time. Okay, bye.